Hello everyone, it is 2021 and I have been asked to actually do a follow-up Criterion Collection by one of my subscribers, and I figured, look, it's been about a year and a bit, because it was about January of 2020 that I actually released my part 1 and part 2, so if you want to watch that instead you can, but hopefully this will be a quicker rundown of everything I have, plus what I've gotten since those videos, which were actually shot at the end of 2019, because Christmas is a really easy time to film. At least it used to be, now it isn't. So let's just get straight into it. First up, we've got two special ones to show off. First being Jigoku, which I'm going to assume you haven't seen the first two parts, so I'm just going to bring it up as it's all new, as if it's all new information. So I apologize if any of you see repeats, because that's what it's like when you do a secondary collection. Jigoku is my only DVD Criterion, but it's still a really nice film. I wish they had a Blu-ray of it, because it is fucking crazy. But it's a Japanese horror film, so of course it's crazy. Additionally, of course, I have to show off the Criterion Godzilla Showa era set, which houses 15 films, including Godzilla, Godzilla Raids Again, King Kong vs. Godzilla, yes, the original. It also that has the Japanese and American versions, but the Japanese editions on a bonus disc. It has Mothra vs. Godzilla, Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, Invasion of the Astro Monster, Ebirah Horror of the Deep, Son of Godzilla, Destroy All Monsters, Attack All Monsters, sorry, I always say that, All Monsters Attack, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Godzilla vs. Gigan, Godzilla vs. Megalon, Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, and Terror of Mechagodzilla. It is, of course, a gargantuan set, and is absolutely stunning. These are two extra new ones that I've gotten in the recent month. This is Portrait of a Lady on Fire and The Princess Bride, which I literally just watched before filming this video. Portrait of a Lady on Fire I will be watching in about 2 weeks, because I'm back at uni, so we're actually watching Portrait of a Lady on Fire in class, which is amazing, but I'm like, hey, why should I go to class for 1 day class for 2 hours when I can watch it at home in 4K Criterion? So I'm going to do that instead. I haven't seen it since theaters, but it's a beautiful film and I absolutely adore it. And of course, Princess Bride is a renowned classic and a fantastic digibook. It is absolutely gorgeous. So those are two of my favorite new editions that I've gotten. Now we're just going to dive into what is actually on the shelf. Some of these will be new. I haven't actually rearranged the shelf since I think December of last year, so hence why those two weren't in it, because I got them in January. So let's just dive into it in alphabetical order, including director's suites. Oh boy. Firstly, we have Anatomy of a Murder. I still haven't seen this, but now that I have a 4K UHD Region Free all-region player, which can play literally any goddamn disc on the planet except for a 3D Blu-ray, I can actually now watch this, even though my previous all-region player is now out in the lounge room. We got a whole new setup out there, so my dad can watch it too. How great is that? The classic, and probably maybe the best Adam Sandler film. I'm sorry, fans of that other film he did recently. What was it? Who cares? I can't remember. Punch Drunk Love. That's a good one. It's a classic. It's my favorite of his. Uncut Gems. Fuck, that is a good film. Sorry. My Wes Anderson collection. I still don't have Bottle Rocket or Grand Budapest on Criterion yet, because I'm waiting for the Grand Budapest one to be really cheap at Zavvi, and because I want the Region B version. And Bottle Rocket, I have the Umbrella release, but it's actually the same scan from Criterion, so I don't really need the Criterion. I wouldn't mind it, but I don't care that much for the film, but I wouldn't mind it. So of course I have Rushmore Region B version, the Region B of Royal Tenenbaums. I'm in Australia. I know I keep saying Region B, even though I've got an old Region fucking player, but to me it matters, but now it shouldn't, because I gave my Region Free player to my dad, so realistically it shouldn't matter. Life Aquatic, my god, it's a bloody hand stack. The Darjeeling Limited, which is the Region A version. That one my dad can also watch now. Oh my god, see, now looking at all this stuff, I'm like, it's been a year and now my dad can finally watch this shit. Mostly because I hog the theatre room, so to be honest, it is my TV and player and everything. So, Fantastic Mr. Fox, arguably he's best. I don't know which of these is my favourite. Rushmore and Fantastic Mr. Fox are very back-to-back. Moonrise Kingdom, also a fantastic film. Fuck, they're all fantastic. Rushmore is probably, I think it's my favourite. It's hard to say. Fantastic Mr. Fox is either number one or number two. They're both very closely tied. I need to rewatch both of them, but I've always, when I think of Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think I want to watch it again, because I know if I put it on, I can't stop watching it. Whereas Rushmore, I've only seen it the once, and I'm like, I really dug it the first time. It really vibed with me. This one hasn't changed since last time. The Before trilogy, an absolute banger. My favourite being Before Sunset, which I have watched. Oh no, I've watched them all. I watched them all once, but I've rewatched Before Sunrise. I still think Before Sunset is my favourite. I also got Being There. I have not watched this one yet, but this is a new edition that I got. I got like a whole bunch of them on Amazon at the end of last year, including Portrait of a Lady on Fire and Princess Bride. So, yeah, I just really want to watch it. I like Peter Sellers films. Additionally, I do have The Blob. This is the Umbrella edition video, but edition version. But it does have the Criterion disc version of The Blob, of the original 1958 version. This is also like a limited edition casing of like 1,000. This is number 1,265 of 2,300. So that's bizarre, but it is the Criterion release, and it looks bloody nice. So there is that. Next up, we have A Brighter Summer Day. Still yet to watch this one. God, I have too little time on my hands these days. I would like to note before we actually get into the next layer, the reason I haven't bought so many more Criterions since my last video is because I got the Criterion Channel, and I realized $15 a month is a hell of a lot cheaper than spending $60, and even if I only watch one Criterion film or one film on the Criterion Channel, for me that's like, hey, ticket to admission is pretty much $15 for a film in current day standards, even though apocalypse. So it's worth it to that regard. Of course, I had to buy a VPN, so I've got that for like 14 months, which unfortunately paid straight away. So I spent like $200 in one day. I'm like, fuck, that wasn't meant to happen, but it did. So look, I'm just using Criterion. It's the Criterion Channel. It's fantastic. I'd highly suggest it for those. Even if you're in Australia, use a VPN. It's not that hard. It's pretty fucking banger. It's a great program. I love it. So that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of these. Like I recently watched Harold and Maude and Haxon this year alone on the Criterion Channel. I watched Harold and Maude before it actually went out of print, so it was literally the day before it left the channel. And that one's a fantastic film, which I hate that I'm probably not going to be able to get the Criterion of because it's out of print now. Unless there happens to be a Region B version, but I very much doubt it. Nevertheless, there were some great films from the channel, from the collection that I watched on that channel. I'd list them all, but I've forgotten all of them. I don't know. Let me check my phone. I know you might not think that this really counts as to, oh, but you don't own these. Does that really count as something to list? I think it does, because I have apparently listed 23 films from the Criterion Channel. I watched Frances Ha, which was brilliant. I watched Nosferatu, despite it not actually being a Criterion film, I don't believe. I know I have the Eureka version. I watched Cleo from 5 to 7, which was amazing. But I'm a Cheerleader, because it was great. Some of these aren't Criterion, but they're on the channel, so I'm listing them anyway. Harold and Maude, of course. The Squid and the Whale. Kramer vs. Kramer. The Red Shoes. Just love that one. What the fuck was this one? Oh, Uncle Boone Me, who can recall his past lives. I got the Criterion Channel to watch that and Haxon because it was on Stan, but it wasn't a HD version. Same as Persona, but I actually bought Persona. So yeah, it was an interesting film. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. That's also one I watched. Haxon, as I mentioned. Me, You, and Everyone We Know. Safety Last, which is quite a classic. Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Not as good as the title might suggest. Holiday. That one was fantastic. Gotta love what is it? Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn film. The Heiress. Holy shit, do I recommend this film. It is brilliant. I'd love to get the Criterion of it, but because it was on the channel, I was like, yeah, I'm watching that. Foxy Brown, because it's pretty much a banger. Theatre of Blood, I ended up buying I think it was like Arrow Video Blu-ray, just because this was so good. I absolutely love Vincent Price films. It's Alive, because apparently Larry Cohen makes terrible films that are apparently fantastic. I have seen 2 of his films now, and they're fine, but they're not great, so they're fine. Dracula AD 1972, fucking overrated to hell, but fine. Nothing worth going on about. The 5,000 Fingers of Dr. T. This one was fucking incredible. My Lucky Stars, because of course I love anything with Jackie Chan in it. Exporting Raymond, because documentaries are fun. And that's all. They're all the ones I've watched on the Criterion Channel. Voila. This one of my favorites, The Carnival of Souls. Beautiful film. The original and the classic, Cat People. Very interesting. This one. Still haven't seen this one yet. This is Kronos, the Guillermo del Toro film, which I have in my Guillermo del Toro selection. Diabolique, because it is diabolique. Oh, this is a rare one now, apparently. Don't Look Now. I'm kind of surprised that this one's out of print, given that Studio Canal made a 4K UHD version of it, that was a weird way for me to say that, which apparently looks fantastic, but of course, this is a brilliant film, and admire the cover, it looks amazing. I didn't know what the fuck it was when I first saw it, but then when I watched the film and I looked at it, I just suddenly realized, I know what it is now. It's like a bloody ink spot test, almost. I've actually left the door open in the theatre room because it's quite humid today. Isn't it, Indy? But the dogs are barking because they were hungry. And, no. Don't jump up on the couch. No. And also everyone else is out of the house except for Sam, who just got home. Let's continue. 8.5 by Federico Fellini. It's a good one. Yes, the Louis Buñuel film, The Exterminating Angel. I have no idea if I watched this film in 2020 or in 2019. Either way, this is a weird film. I have no idea why I bought it. I think I just liked the name, and I was like, that sounds like fun. Maybe I'd watched one of his other films, The Distinct Charm of the Bourgeoisie, and that was like, I love this kind of film, because when you start your uni course, you suddenly become really into surrealist cinema. It's good shit. Hello, Indy. Yes, of course. The one and the only Failsafe. I bought it because the cover looked cool. Oh, I love this one. This one's great. I don't know how many I've watched since I made my initial video. This one is actually broken. Look at that. You can probably not. You can see it. There's a hole in it. I hate when that happens because I don't get replicas of these bloody cases. This is Fantastic Planet. It is a fantastic film. I feel like that would be self-explanatory. It broke when I opened it. I don't know what the fuck happened. It's fine. It's fine. F for Fake. Yeah, I definitely watched this last time before I'd made my initial video. It's good. I haven't seen it since, but it's good. This one I'm pretty certain I had last time, Ghost World. It is really fun. The comic is also exceptional. And of course, because it's so uniquely pink-spined, what the crap? This is Gilda. It's just a great Rita Hayworth film. I still think that, to date, this is my favourite Criterion. House. I've watched this maybe 2 or 3 times now. It is just spectacular. I have to get my dad to watch this now that he can. I can't wait. Another classic slapstick comedy, romantic comedy, all that kind of jazz. It Happened One Night. I think I actually watched... did I? No, I got the Blu-ray. I was going to watch it on Criterion Channel, but I didn't. And It's a Mad Wild? Is that one too many mads? I think I've only watched the theatrical cut of this film so far. I haven't watched the extended version, but I think there's 3 versions of this film on here. I don't know, there's a lot, so let's leave it at that, eh? This one I mentioned last time, Jean Dillman. I watched it as my 500th film for 2019. That was a long time ago. Wow. And to the betterment of myself and my Criterion Collection, we have, of course, The Killing, Paths of Glory, which I have actually seen, because Killing comes with The Killer's Kiss, I believe. Paths of Glory I have seen and is exceptional. And the digibook of Doctor Strangelove. This one's a new one. Came in a bit crushed, but to be fair, it is made of cardboard. So most of my digibooks like this are not in the best condition. At least a few dents or scratches here and there. It is what it is. To start off my Kurosawa collection, we have Rashomon. I haven't seen that one yet. I have seen, of course, Seven Samurai. I say of course, but it's still a 3-hour film. Is of course too on the nose. Throne of Blood. If you care to know that I've watched these films or not, that is one thing. I have not watched Throne of Blood yet. Yojimbo and Sanjuro. I have watched Yojimbo? Yes, because that's the one that came out first. This is a cool 2-pack. Comes with them both. Yojimbo and Sanjuro. It's nice. I should have watched Sanjuro after watching Yojimbo, but I just never got around to it. And of course, probably my first Kurosawa film, Dreams. Really nice one, this one. Really underrated. Now, of course, I have a dedicated collection to my favourite director, so of course I must mention Eraserhead, Blue Velvet, which is a new edition. I have yet to get Elephant Man, the Criterion. I got the Studio Canal 4K version. It was a slipcover version, so it was just a regular Blu-ray, but it was a 4K remaster. I didn't realize it was a 4K Blu-ray disc. I thought it was a 4K UHD disc, so I was very disappointed by that. So hopefully I'll get the Criterion, because I prefer to get that over the UHD, but it's just the same version, pretty much. Twin Peaks, Fire Walk with Me, and The Art Life. I guess I should mention as well, I'm yet to get Mulholland Drive, but because I've got the, just the regular, Studio Canal release, I just never got around to it. Eventually I will. Midnight Cowboy, that one's a really interesting one. Good, really good though, really good of course. 1984. Still haven't watched this one yet, but it does come with both scores, the Eurythmics one and the original score. So I don't know which one I plan to watch when I do watch it, because I don't feel like it's a film I'd want to watch back to back with itself with 2 different soundtracks. So we'll see how that goes. The one and the only Night of the Living Dead, an absolute classic. Have I seen this version yet? I know I've seen the film, I just don't know if I've seen this version yet. I think I have. I don't know. Still, good version. Good film. I feel like I should get the Criterion of Parasite, but I have 3 different versions already, or standard edition Madman Entertainment release, plus the 4K UHD plus black and white Steelbook edition, plus I've got a new Steelbook edition plain archive version coming in the mail, so assuming that ever fucking ships. But yeah, I don't know if I'd want to get the Criterion. Maybe, I don't know. Passion of Joan of Arc. Still haven't watched this. I don't know why not. I had a day where I was like, I'm going to watch Passion of Joan of Arc, and then I just didn't. It happens. And a back-to-back-to-back on my shelf, we have Persona. I'd love to get the Ingmar Bergman box set, but let's be real. Probably never going to happen. But Persona is fantastic. I love that I got this version. I think I had to buy it secondhand. I think it was already out of its plastic. I can't remember, but it's all in good condition, so it looks amazing. Philadelphia Story, because like I said, I love a Cary Grant film. Plus, of course, Katharine Hepburn and James Stewart. It's a bloody goldmine of a good film. Can't not love it. And of course, as I showed, Picnic at Hanging Rock, which, to make it more special, because it's like it already isn't, given it's a bloody, comes with a book and everything. It's a book and a book and a book and a book and a book. And inside that book and a book and a book and a book and a book is, there we are, the signature of John Jarratt, with the character of his sister in the film. Yeah, He was in the film, Aussie actor. I met him 2 years ago. Got him to sign that. Of all things, I got him to sign that. I don't really know why. I think because it meant more to me because I'd seen it a few times, and because I was an extra in the Australian TV series version, whatever it was called. It's just called Picking My Hand Rock with Natalie Dormer. That's a show I'll probably never remember, or finish, for that matter. I got like 3 episodes in, and I'm just like, okay, well, there was my scene, and it's gone, and I'm not in it, so I'm good, I'm done. Roma, a very heavy digibook for a very good film that I still haven't watched since I initially watched it in cinema, but I'm not going to watch it on Netflix, even though I could. And Rosemary's Baby, because thank fuck I bought this. Knowing what's happened now, because like 2 days ago, like Paramount or whoever was like, oh yeah, we're taking like 8 films, 6, I think it was 6 films from the collection. It sucks that I can't get Harold and Maude on Criterion, because that's going to go way up in price now, but hey, it is what it is. But I have Rosemary's Baby and Don't Look Now, which are classics, great films. The Seventh Seal, with of course Max von Sydow, who recently passed away. Brilliant film. And a very interesting packaged film, Sex, Lies, and Videotape. Another S film that I still haven't watched this one. One of Tarkovsky's classics, Solaris. Haven't watched it yet. I will eventually. Hey, I've watched Stalker, is that not enough? Wow. Speak of the devil and it shall arise, it is Stalker itself. Very good one, very good. I keep doing this and saying very good. All of these films are good. Some are just better than others, or at least more preferable than others. I don't know, it is what it is. Next up we have Tampopo. This one's great. If you have not watched it, it is superb. I would highly recommend it. I hadn't watched it since when I last made my video. I don't even know if I had it by that stage. I'm pretty sure I had. I don't know. I've had it for a while. Finally got around to watching it, which surprisingly is actually a lot earlier than a lot of these other Criterion releases, but it is phenomenal. So crazy. I want to do a video essay on it, but I'm just like, I just don't know. It's so crazy. Of course, we're in the T section, so we've got things to come. My other broken Criterion. Look at that. You can't really see it too well, but it's not great. This is one of my first ever Criterions, and I still to this day have not yet watched it. Don't worry, it's a thing. Tokyo Drifter. I have not watched this version of it, as in my physical copy. I watched it on the Criterion Channel, I believe. No. I watched it on Stan, but it was the Criterion remaster, and I was so in love with it that I'm like, I'm buying this film. So I got the Region B version so my dad can watch it, and he still didn't watch it. So it's not like I'm offended or anything. Whew. Next up we have a classic Dustin Hoffman film with Tootsie. Not as funny as I expected, but still really good. And to a lot of you, an absolute masterpiece, The Tree of Life, which I'm still very happy I have. I'm just very disappointed I still haven't watched it yet. Look at me, the man who still hasn't watched The Tree of Life. Where the fuck have I been? Under a rock. A very big rock. No, of course not. Ooh. Next up we have a very interesting ghost film. The Uninvited. Very interesting ghost film. With a fantastic cover. One of probably the most creative Criterion cases I've ever seen, with Videodrome, which of course you open it up to reveal a cassette tape looking cover, which is amazing. Because I do know what they are. I did grow up in the early 2000s. Don't worry, I know what a cassette tape is. And also for those wondering, because I don't know who might be watching this video who might be like, why does he keep referring to his dad? I do live with my parents. I have my own theatre room because I got the smallest bedroom of the house out of my 3 brothers. I'm obviously the movie addicted one, so what you see behind me is mostly mine. So there's that. But I had a Region Free standard Blu-ray player for like 3 years, and then my 4K player, when we moved in here, I got a 4K TV, a 4K player, all that jazz. it's died. So I was like, fuck it, this is pissing me off. I need to buy a new 4K player, and I was always wanting to upgrade it to make it all regions. So I decided I'm going to buy an all region 4K UHD player, because you can do that in Australia. If you're in Melbourne, you can do it at Gaddy Audio. I think you can also do it in the rest of Australia. You can get it shipped around. They're in like Glen Waverley. So I did that, and it's fantastic. It's brilliant. I love it. It's so easy to use. It was just like my previous one because they were both from Gaddy Audio. So this is a plug, but not an actual ad. I just want to suggest it for those who are in Australia, especially in Victoria. Highly consider it. It is expensive as fuck, but it's not as expensive as it used to be. So this one cost me about $560, I think. Well, $560 to $600 for a 4K UHD player with all region capability. The best 4K UHD player they had, at least for the Sony one, because I went for a Sony like I had previously, which is like the UBX 700M, is the best one that they have for Sony. That one's like $800, but I'm like, it's the exact same thing I already had, just a newer model. But I'm like, yeah, but I can go with the cheaper one and not have to worry, because it's like, oh, it has better sound. I'm like, who fucking cares? I know I do, but like, I don't care as much. And it has Dolby Vision, so it's like, upgrades all the way. So I gave that extra Blu-ray player I had to my dad, which he's only now installed today because they had a home theater system. It finally died after 10 years, so we bought a sound bar and a whole bunch of new stuff for them, but of course not a receiver, so they had enough room for an extra Blu-ray player, and their 4K player isn't great with DVDs, so the Blu-ray player can play all the DVDs of all regions and all regions of Blu-ray. So it's like, hey, fuck, just use that instead. So much easier. So they have now, and now life is much more interesting. It won't be. They're just going to rewatch the same shit on DVD anyway, so, you know, it is what it is. I just realised with all that talk I didn't even mention the fact that I had the Virgin Suicides, which, if you've seen my previous one, you know that, but Virgin Suicides, good one, brilliant remaster. If I'm not wrong, I've watched the Virgin Suicides twice now, actually, that same Criterion twice, so it's worth watching, definitely. And now for my longest one, my second last one overall, we have War and Peace. I don't think I had this last time. Even if I did, if anyone ever asked me, so what's the longest film that you have, Julian? I'll be like, this, it's 7.5 fucking hours. It's literally 422 minutes long. And everyone's like, why do you have a 7-hour long film? It's like, it's also Russian, and they made it because of the fucking Audrey Hepburn one being like 2 hours, and the Russians are like, that's not enough, you need more. So they just gave it, what is it, what's his name, Sergei Bondarchuk? Yeah, Bondarchuk. Sergei Bondarchuk. Okay, I can't actually pronounce his name to some degree. They were just like, fuck, here's all the money, make a good one. So they did, and now it's on the Criterion Collection, and I plan to watch it eventually. See, if I actually said that I'd watched it, then that would be, like, even more impressive. But I have watched Twin Peaks: The Return, and that's 18 hours, so sucking that War and Peace. And now to put this fucking gallivanting to an end, we have my final Criterion, Yee, otherwise known as... Doesn't it have a secondary name? Oh, a 1 and a 2. I haven't watched this one yet. But I can say that from what I've heard, it is very good. I know it has a piece of plastic somewhere in the casing here, but I don't know where it is. It's funny now going through all of these and being like, I can clearly remember a lot of them having shown them off last time, but also this kind of realization of, Jesus Christ, I still haven't watched so many of these films. But obviously, it's been a year and a bit. I have a hell of a lot more films. I've watched a lot more films, and I've also had the Criterion Channel, which is a fantastic video streaming service, if you can get it. So, yeah, and a lot of people might also ask, hey, Telecreations, where the fuck do you get your Criterions from? Thank you for asking, person in the comment section from a year and a half ago. Various sources. Zavvi mostly, because they have a lot of the Region B versions. They only sell the Region B versions, in fact. You can also get like a Razorhead from there now, which is amazing, but it still costs like $50. So, what the fuck. I have a lot of these ones I also plan to get, like the Wong Kar-wai collection and the Bruce Lee collection, but I'm waiting for Bruce Lee to become Region B. It's not going to happen, but a man can dream. The Wong Kar-wai version is, but like it's $270, but it's 7 films and it's like pretty much $40 each, so it kind of makes sense. And it's like they're amazing films. It's like, oh my god. Otherwise, I get them shipped from Barnes & Noble in the US. It costs obviously a lot more, so it's usually one of those wait for the 50% off sales and get like 7 or 8 films. Spend a lot of money, but it'll be fucking worth it when they all come in. Alternatively, Amazon also ships them. You can go to Fishpond, you can go to eBay. There's a lot of bloody sites that have them. You'd be surprised. I'd obviously go for a mint in its original plastic kind of deal, especially for those that are director approved, because director approved usually comes with a director approved sticker, especially the David Lynch and Wes Anderson films. So yeah, it's cool to have the signature. Whereas something like Portrait of a Lady on Fire, I think was the director approved, but they didn't have her do a signature for it, which is fucking weird. Nevertheless, look, Criterion Collection is a fantastic collection. If you want to know what the hell it actually is, I do have a video called What is Criterion Collection, along with my What is Arrow video, and What is Eureka, and all the other ones. So, yeah, thank you so much for suggesting that I do an update version. I hope you have enjoyed if this is your first time watching and checking out my collection. I know I don't have it like piled like this in a collection here or something like that. I set it up like, I hate the fact that I still have dogs. Why? I'm trying to conclude. This is the end of the video. So yeah, as you can see, I obviously don't have them all in like collections like this or whatever, like some people do, which, look, to each their own. I personally would love to, but then I'd probably get like triggered because I don't have all the individual numbers, but I don't really actually care about that. But because I live with my family still and they look at it alphabetically, I at least get away with having my director's collections and stuff like that. So in the end, it is what it is. I enjoy them. I prefer having Region B ones, but I don't really mind. It is what it is, given I have a Region Free player. I feel like just having one that's Region A, it feels worse for me, because it's like, I feel like there's a limitation on who can watch it. But it's like, why the fuck would I lend someone my Criterion? But I could. My mate Guy might like to watch it. So, you know, some people do what they do best. Enjoy life. So yes, thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more. Up there will be my What is Criterion. Over there will be my premiums playlist, I guess. I don't know, either that or my Blu-ray shelf. I don't know. If you guys want me to do an updated collection of all of my things, say Arrow Videos, Scream Factory, that kind of jazz, I'll get around to it. I have nothing in plan for videos to make, because I'm so busy with work and uni and all that jazz. So I'm just doing what I can when I can find the fucking time, because it is not easy to film anymore. But look, I like making these videos still. Obviously, it's always fun to brag about the stuff that I have, because I do it often enough, so you kind of get used to it. Anyway, what else is the point of YouTube? What, discussions about things that matter? Fuck that, I want to brag. Anyway, thanks for watching. I have a lot of these kind of videos on my channel and other stuff, so check out whatever there is there, and I'll see you next time. Adios. Fuck. I swear to God, if I missed anything...